the characteristics of a leader's workshop. All right, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. It's Halloween for those that celebrate Halloween. I happen to be one that doesn't, but it is what it is. Well, getting right into it here, part five, we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Last week, let's see, what did we talk about last week? Last week we talked about, let me go in this book here, developing effective communicational skills. Communicational skills. So this week we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence. So I got a question for you. Do you control your emotions or do they control you? What do I mean? When you get angry, do you react or do you respond? Because see, if you respond, you're controlling the emotion. You're giving time to be able to respond to whatever was stated or done in a healthy way. But when you react, you're reacting to the emotion. It hits the emotion and you react. That's like somebody throwing some hot grease on you and you just react. First thing you're going to say is, ah, you know what I'm saying? So what do? Do you control your emotions or do your emotions control you? And that's basically the basics of what we're going to be talking about today. Because a lot of times we allow our emotions to control us. And what happens is we're coming back saying sorry. Sometimes we end up in jail. All kinds of things can happen when our emotions control us. So what is emotional intelligence? What's emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the capacity to comprehend, utilize, and manage your emotions in a way that promotes effective communication, understanding, and solving problems and diffuses conflicts. So that's basically what we're going to be talking about today is emotional intelligence. So now research has shown that emotional intelligence for men are more likely to be successful in their lives if they are moving in emotional intelligence. Um, they're able to be more successful in their lives, in their careers, relationships, and can navigate the challenges of work and life because they're able to maintain and understand their self and their emotions. So, emotional intelligence encompasses four key areas that we're going to be going over today. It encompasses self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So these are the things we're going to be looking at today. Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So going to the book here. All right, let's get there. Let's get there. All right. So let's look at the definitions of all of these four key areas. Starting off with self-awareness. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness is the ability to be aware of and understand your own emotions. It includes recognizing your triggers, acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses, and being attuned to your own body cues. Because your body speaks as well as your mouth. The way that you stand, your stance, your facial expressions, all these things speak as well. Self-management. What is self-management? It's the ability to regulate your emotions and respond effectively to stressors. It involves managing impulsively, controlling your reactions, and setting boundaries. Impulsively, it says it involves managing impulsivity, okay, and controlling your emotions. That's a difficult thing to do at times, controlling your emotions, especially when you're dealing with someone you care about, you have feelings for, or you love. I always say, if someone walked up to you and said, what you got on is crazy, probably wouldn't matter too much. But someone you cared about, loved, told you that, it would hit you in an emotional place. So a lot of this has to deal with how close are you to the individual. Okay. How close are you to the individual? Next is social awareness. Social awareness. Now, this is the ability to read other people's emotions and understand how they might be feeling. In other words, you can read the room effectively and respond accordingly. So for those that are speakers and those that are leaders and have teams and you have team meetings and all these type of things, sometimes you got to take some time and read the room, find out where they're at emotionally. Most people waking up in the morning, they're not trying to hear a speech first thing in the morning. So you got to read the room. Next is relationship management. Okay. Now, relationship management is the ability to manage your interactions with others, including building rapport and resolving conflict. So we're going to take some time and read out the book surrounding this relationship management because it really covers a lot. So in chapter 3, it reads this. It says, when it comes to emotional intelligence, men are often at a disadvantage. From an early age, boys are socialized to suppress their emotions and appear tough. They're told not to cry, to bottle up their feelings, and to always keep a stiff upper lip. As a result, many men grow up without even learning how to deal with their emotions effectively. This can hold them back in their adult years in a number of ways. You may know some individuals that, when you say a certain thing or something they don't like and it hits them in their emotions, they react. They buck up. They kind of bring fear to some people, especially in relationships. When you say something that an individual doesn't want to hear or bringing up something that may hit them in a way, they react instead of respond. They react instead of respond. And in that reaction, it can cause some issues. But knowing how to deal with your emotions, knowing you and knowing the emotions that you carry, knowing that, you're a live wire and all these type of things, knowing you would help you be able to have more emotional maturity. Okay. Next paragraph says this. It says, for one, it can make it difficult for them to form strong personal relationships. Why? Because they're reactive. People don't want to be around people that are always reacting to the things that they're saying. They would rather get positive or healthy input based upon what it is that you have spoken to them. It says, without the ability to express emotions or understand the emotions of others, men often find themselves feeling isolated and alone. They may also have trouble at work as they are unable to navigate the complex social dynamics of the workplace. Many, and again, this isn't just for men. It says men, but women too. Women react, okay, just like us men do, okay. But in the workplace, sometimes your supervisor is going to have you come at you sideways or may reprimand you for something that you did or maybe you didn't do. But how are you going to respond to the emotions that they are delivering to you? Are you going to react? Are you going to take some time and respond? It says that if you have struggled with emotional intelligence in the past, there is good news. It is a skill that can be learned. The skill can be learned. With dedication and effort, you can increase your emotional intelligence or your emotional maturity and reach your full potential. As a result, you can become a better husband, father, business professional, and friend. Now, in short, there is hope for those willing to learn and grow. So don't give up. The world needs your leadership. We're in a time right now where we need leaders. We need men to step up and be the leader that they were called to be. So here are some tips to improve your emotional intelligence. Number one, become more self-aware. What do I mean by that? Good question. What I mean is take some time to reflect on your emotions and how they affect your daily life. When you feel yourself getting angry, stressed, or upset, take a step back and try to understand what is causing those emotions. What were you thinking about when you started to feel that way? What happened right before you began to feel that way? Once you have a better understanding of your emotions, you'll be better equipped to manage them. So if you don't know, how are you going to manage? How are you going to manage yourself if you don't know that you have a temper? If someone says something, you just fly off the handle. You go from 0 to 1,000. But if you know this is you and you're wanting to make some changes, take heed, take a breath, step away, count to 10 before you respond. Because those 10 seconds can make a big difference in the workplace of you being fired or going back to work with the information that was given from your boss, or you and your significant other going through a boxing match. It all depends upon how you are going to deal with the emotions that are boiling inside of you. Number two is practice emotional regulations. Practice emotional regulations. And for those that have just come in, we're talking about emotional intelligence, emotional maturity. We have to grow and we have to mature in many different areas. And I think this is one area that's really not talked about, is your emotions. You have to mature in your emotions. The older you get, you should be able to control your emotions. But we're in a time where a lot of men as well as women don't have the control of their emotions, and they're reacting to the things that are said or the things that are done instead of responding. Number two is practice emotional regulations. I just stated that. We're going to go over it again. Practice emotional regulations. Practice makes perfect. So when you start to feel overwhelmed by your emotions, take a few deep breaths and count to 10 before responding. This will help you to avoid saying or doing something you may later regret. I got tired of saying sorry. I got tired of saying I'm sorry. How many times have you said something to somebody that afterwards, when you calm down, you regret it? Now, the bad thing about that is this: the apology will be accepted, but the words have been spoken and they went into the ear gate and they went up into a file up in the head. So it's not forgotten, but you are forgiven. You're forgiven. It's also important to find healthy ways to deal with your emotions, such as exercise, journaling. That's what I do. I journal. I journal what I feel, what I think, these type of things, because you need to get it out of you. You need to get it out of you. Or talking to a friend works also. Prayer and meditation, I do those two as well, will also prove to be helpful in managing your emotions. The Bible says in Philippians 4, 6, and 7, do not be anxious for anything, but in every situation, by prayer, petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understandings, will guard your heart and your mind in Jesus Christ. So this is something that we need to really take heed of. Don't be anxious to speak. Take some time. Allow the Spirit of God to give you the words to speak so that you're not speaking out of your emotions. Number three, improve your social awareness. Improve your social awareness. What do I mean by that? By paying attention to the nonverbal cues people use when they communicate. We got to realize, we speak with words, but our facial expressions speak, our posture speaks. All these things are speaking at the same time. Have you ever seen someone that said one thing, but their body language did not follow what they were saying? So now you're confused. You don't know whether you should take and listen to what they said or take heed to the body language that they're presenting. So pay attention to the nonverbal cues people use when they're communicating. This includes their body language, tone of voice makes a big difference. And see, me, I have a deep voice, so I gotta I gotta talk quietly, because if I talk loud, it sounds like I'm yelling when I'm really not yelling. Okay. This includes facial expressions as well. Reading these cues will help you to better understand how someone is feeling or what they might be thinking. It can also help you to build stronger relationships, as you'll be able to connect with others on a deeper level. Why? Because you're taking the time out not just to listen, but to watch. The cues and body languages are basically nonverbal cues that people use when they are communicating. Number 4, developing your relationship management skills. Developing your relationship management skills. If you find yourself struggling to resolve conflict or build rapport with others, there are a few things you can do to improve your skills. First, try to see things from the other person's perspective. That's key. We are all different. We all see things different. We all look at things different, the whole 9 yards. So sometimes we got to step out of ourselves and put ourselves in the other person's shoes and try to see it from their perspective. Second, be assertive but not aggressive in your communication. Be assertive but not aggressive. Have you ever talked to someone that was aggressive in their conversation? I mean, you feel like, okay, what do I need to get ready for a fight or something? I mean, like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So be assertive but not aggressive in your communication. The Bible says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. I'm quite sure many of us have gone through saying a harsh word and someone shooting back, or vice versa. And third, always try to find common ground. That's the key. Always try to find common ground. It's not about being right or being wrong. Myself, I don't believe there is a right or wrong. There's a lesson to learn in what it is that you may be dealing with. But right or wrong, I don't see that. We see things differently as human beings. We do things differently as human beings. So in that, there may be many different ways of seeing or doing whatever it may be. But try to find that common ground. And third, focus on active listening. Now that's key, especially for me, because I'm one that wants to just blurt in and be disrespectful and not let the person finish what they're saying, but listen to what the person has to say, let them finish, and then respond. And in doing that, if you're listening, not just hearing, but if you're listening, you're giving them your full attention. And they feel that you're hearing everything that they're saying. Now, I got an example out of the Bible. David, King David. The book reads this. It says, David was a shepherd boy who became a king of Israel. He is also known for being a musician, warrior, and psalmist. His story is full of examples of emotional intelligence. For example, when he was on the run from King Saul, he had multiple opportunities to kill Saul, but was able to restrain himself. David saw the bigger picture and knew that if he killed Saul, he would be made king in his place, but the cycle of violence would continue. This act of restraint and empathy for his enemy is an excellent example of emotional intelligence. So, how many of us have enemies, are people that we dislike or maybe dislike us? Do we want to cause them harm? Do we want to do things that's going to uh, make their life harder or anything like this? Because in the big picture, looking at the big picture, you see, that's taking time to look at the big picture. But when we react, we're not taking no time to do anything but allow our emotions to control us. And in many scenarios, you got police involved, you got hurt people, you may say some things and see, the thing, words hurt. You can sock me in my mouth, and in a couple of weeks, my mouth will feel okay. But you can say something to me that will stick with me for the rest of my life. So we need to be careful in how we say what we say, so that we don't have to be so concerned about or worried about coming back saying sorry, or something being stored in someone's mind and heart that you love, that hurt them. It says David was also able to manage his emotions and act in a way that served his long-term goal. Now, as a result, he achieved a success that might have eluded him if he had acted impulsively and rashly. That's something. Sometimes we could do something and react to something that destroys something that is going to take place in our future. Example, for us men, you could sock somebody, knock them out, they press charges against you, you go to jail, lose your job, all these type of things. The consequences, are they worth it? Are the consequences worth it? It says here, improving your emotional intelligence can take time and effort, but it is worth it. When you have strong emotional maturity skills, you'll be better equipped to manage your own emotions and navigate the complex social landscape of work and life. What do I mean? At the workplace, in your home, in your community, you're in control of yourself. Either your emotions are controlling you, or you are controlling you. So my question to you is, which one is it? If you seem to be controlling you, that's a great thing. Get more in contact with your emotions, those triggers that hit you in a particular way. If it's not you, I will say, take time out, read this chapter, and get what you can to become a better or more mature emotional person. I've got a couple questions for you guys. Got 5 questions for you. We're going to end with this. 5 questions. First question is this. Which of the 4 key areas, so let's go back to the 4 key areas so you get them. The 4 key areas are awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Okay? So which of the 4 key areas of emotional intelligence are you strongest in? Which one of those are you strongest in? Okay. Number two, which of the four key areas of emotional intelligence do you need to work on the most? We all need work. We all need work, especially me. All right, number three, think of a time when you were able to effectively manage your emotions. What did you do in that situation? What did you do? How were you able to control your emotions? Now, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of folks in the workplace, oh, they can control their emotions because if they let their emotions go wild, they may lose their job. So sometimes, people know how to bite their tongue, get through whatever's been stated to them, say okay and walk away, and then do whatever they do after the case. But how did you make it through? Number three, think of a time when you, okay, no, I'm sorry. Number four, think of a time when you wish you would have handled your emotions differently. What could you have done differently? Again, going back to what I stated, when you react, you're going to just say the first thing that comes to your mind based upon what's going on within you. First, it hits the head, then it hits the heart, then it comes out the mouth. So, what is it that you did, or what is it that you said that you regretted? And what is it that you could have said or done differently to diffuse the situation? Last but not least, number five, what are some specific steps you can take to improve your emotional intelligence? What are some specific steps you could take to improve your emotional intelligence? These questions are in the back of my book. You see on the screen there, Characteristics of a Leader. So as you read the chapter, you're able to go back and look within yourself to see where it is that you can do better, and take the tips and tools that are in that chapter, apply them, and I guarantee you'll see some changes going on in your life. All right, I told you guys that I want to keep this at about 30 minutes because it's a lot of information. You can always go back and look at the video on my YouTube channel or on Spotify. And if you have any questions, you can always just send me an email and I'll be able to get you or answer that question for you. Well, it's not showing there. Let me take this thing off here so y'all can see where it is that y'all need to go. All right, where's that? Okay, all right. So I can't get it off. All right. So anyway, so next week, we're going to be going over integrity. Integrity is a quality that is highly praised in effective leaders, having a good integrity. So y'all join me next week. And again, take some time, look within yourself, see if you are mature in your emotions, if you can swallow your emotions and respond, not allowing your emotions to control you and become a reactor to everything people say and people do. Y'all have a happy and safe Halloween. For those of you who celebrate Halloween, make sure you check your kids' candy, all that red candy. Get rid of that stuff. That stuff ain't good for you. But have a fantastic day, night, and week. And I'll see you back again Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Until then, God bless you. Peace.